For this task, we're just going to look at how to change the font size and the font family of any given text. So once again, we've got all of our all of our tags set up here. So we've got the body tag H1, H2 and P. So it's just a matter of adding to these now. So over on the index page, we have them set up here. Now we obviously can't add a font or font size to the body. If we did that, it would take over everything. So what we're going to do is just add them individually to the H1, H2 and P. So let's head back to the style and let's do this. So the first one is, let's do font size. So I'm going to go into the H1 and I'm just going to add a new line in between these brackets, and I'm just going to say font hyphen size and then colon, and then we can specify size. Now because we come specifically from the publishing area here, instead of using pixels, px, we're going to use points, pt, okay? So, and this is similar to how Microsoft Word does it, or Google Docs does it. So if we say something like a 36 pt and then semicolon, you'll notice that this will make it into a sufficient header text. And there you go, it makes it a lot bigger. And just to demonstrate that we can go a lot higher, let's go to 76 just to show that it does get really big, okay? And you can obviously scroll down. So let's go back to 36, and that's how you do the font. So if you wanted to add a font size to all of these, you just copy this, Control C, go into the P2, Control V. Now, because we don't want the H1 and H2 to have the same size, you might think that you'll go to something like a 26 here. And then we can do the same here, so Control V again, and maybe this time we'll just go to 16. Okay, so all of these have been changed. Let's just update that, and sufficiently we have that. Now, I would probably say we could go to 46 here, or 42 here on this top one, just to kind of show that that is a title. Okay. So that's the font size. Now, currently we have a default font here. It's something like Arial or something like that. I'm not sure. But if we want to make it our own, we can actually choose any font that we see online. So there are web standard fonts. And if you did a web ready font, so web fonts or web ready fonts, you should get a list of all the fonts that you can use by default in any browser. So the one we want is web safe. Here we go, 15 best web safe fonts, and you could choose any of these. Let's just have a look at one that we could use. There we go. So we could use Arial, we could use Times Roman, Times, Courier New, Courier, Verdana. Let's use Verdana. So let's just copy this, Control C. Let's head back over to Replit, and this time we're going to say font hyphen family. And then we want the colon, then Control V for Verdana, and then semicolon, and hopefully that works. So this is the H2, not the H1, sorry, my bad. And there you go, you can see that is definitely different now. The one I quite like is Helvetica. If we just change that to Helvetica and then run it again, and you can see that's actually one of my preferred ones. So you can use whichever fonts you want. So if I Control C, Control V that there, and then obviously do the same for the P tag, now we should have all of that set up. Now it's made this one slightly too big, so let's just go back to the H1 and let's just make this 42, just so it all fits on one line. There we go. Okay, so that brings us to conclusion. So what you have to do now is screenshot all of your CSS code. If it doesn't quite fit, you might have to do 2 screenshots for all your CSS code. And can you also screenshot your HTML code as well, just to show me how that looks, okay? And then upload it to the lesson 2 assignment in Google Classroom.